Hello, everybody. How are you? Happy Sunday, and most of all, happy Mother's Day to all of our amazing and awesome moms in the audience today. We are live today. No faux lives today, no pre-recorded, no premieres, no nothing. We are actually live today in the studio, and I'm really excited to welcome my good friend, Mark McKeller, and his wife is by his manager producer is standing by right next to him to make sure all the tech stuff goes right, I think. But anyways, you guys, I'm really excited to have Mark in the house with us because he was kind of like my first like YouTube experience in the sense of like I knew like the powers of YouTube and like where it could go because it helped me grow my paint company and it helped me be able to teach online and there was a whole like other side to it, but he was like kind of my first the first my first rodeo with YouTube, and I couldn't give him a lot of guidance at the time. I was like, I don't know, just make videos. But I could tell that he was super passionate about it. So I'm really excited tonight to have him on with us. I'm going to bring him up into the studio. And hi, how you doing, Mark?
Hello, Serena. Hello, everyone.
Hello. I had to put my glasses on because I'm going to share this out too. We have a YouTube course starting tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to share this out to my YouTube course here real quick, and lights, camera, confidence. And also too, I'm going to get you, let's send it over to our Nook people and our Start and Grow. We got a whole bunch of like people here we can show this out to. But anyways, Mark, like, first of all, I know Melanie's next to you, so happy Mother's Day, Melanie. I know she's there.
Thank
you. Before we went live, I was like, oh, how was your Mother's Day? And Mark's like, oh, he did a Mother's Day bird hike. And I'm like, oh, and then Melanie stayed home for that. And I'm like, oh, happy Mother's Day. So, okay, but no, I get it. So, Mark, so why don't you tell, obviously I know more than I need to know about you and your business, but why don't you tell our amazing viewers about you and your business?
Well, how this thing got started, and again, total credit to Serena for dragging me into this a little bit, kicking and screaming. I used to do Facebook Lives every Saturday on a different topic about birds, and remember my whole business is knowledge, and that's teaching people about birds and bird
education.
And bird watching. Education is
education, yeah. But you're a little entertaining too. But anyways, education.
Try to be there. And I'm not camera shy, so I mean, it was kind of a good thing. And Melanie had met you through other channels other than and we had dinner, and you had looked at some of my Facebook lives that were online, and like I said, your first sentence to me, I think, when we met was, why aren't you on YouTube?
I probably said, why the F are you not on YouTube? Because my words are not like, I'm not super classy. I make like, I think somebody said, it's Christy W. who said, you're very country, but you dress city.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
God, that's a good description. Yes, I appear to be steady, but
that was the push that I needed to get going. And I had been told that, oh no, you can't put your videos on YouTube because YouTube can put other competitors advertising on your videos, and of course that would, for me, would not be a good thing. And Serena looked at me and she said, YouTube can put other.
Hold on. It's me. Yeah, that's me. Hold on here. My phone is having a meltdown. Like, it's trying to be like, literally, my phone is having a meltdown right now. Mark, I can't get you off my phone screen. Oh God. Okay, we're good. I was like, why is it talking to me? Anyways, so
it sounded like my voice.
You're like, that's me in the background. So.
Well, and like you said, Mark, if they do, you got to pay for it. And of course, I didn't understand YouTube. I didn't know how the things worked in there. And so what I started doing, how I got started, was taking all those old Facebook Lives, converting them, and doing editing and stuff like that, and then putting them up on YouTube. And that's how the whole thing kind of got rolling. And of course, I would film new ones from time to time, and then plug in with old ones and things like that. And we had two major interruptions. When we started the process, of course, COVID was one of them. We just got started, and then the COVID and all that happened. And then we got going again, kind of got some momentum, and then I broke my leg in 3 places. And I was out for like 6 months. Yeah. Really, that derailed me. And so that put us back in it. So once we finally got going and it started doing content regularly, I settled in on twice a week.
And that was about 2 years ago, I think, right? Or maybe 18, maybe like 18 months, 18 months ago.
I'm trying to get her.
I'm trying to think.
She's the accountant's thinking over there. Exactly.
We hit 1,000 January 1st of 22.
January 1st, 22 was the so maybe we got monetized.
23 January 1st was 3,000. January 1st, 24 was 7,000.
Okay, and I have the numbers now.
Okay.
Now we're 17.
Okay, as of today, 17,700 with a 2.5 million views.
Yeah.
And that is what you've done literally in the last 18 months.
Yeah. That's by far the bulk of it has been the last 18 months. And like you talk, content. That's what you hear. And we did some training things, and we listened to videos, and I learned. StreamYard was a godsend. That program, and you led us to that, and that's been. I love it. And I do my own editing. I had Adobe Premiere, which is a fantastic editing program, and I use TubeBuddy and vidIQ, you get suggestions from there, and Melanie's been entering the Chat GPT, whatever.
Chat GPT. Thank God he has a producer, y'all. Chat GPT. Chat GPT. It is going to be your best. It is your best friend, Mark. You may not know it's your best friend, but it is literally that program. That's a whole nother, I'm going to get into that a lot in my 5-day class, because I don't think people really understand the power behind that platform. And it's easy for somebody. Okay. So Mark, you have an incredible passion. You have an incredible gift. You also have education behind it. Right.
Right.
And as creatives, a lot of creatives, they just have an incredible gift and passion. They sometimes don't have the education to help them run a business or to monetize something, or like that. You have that. You've had a brick and mortar for 25 years ish, 23 years.
Going on 24.
Okay. So you guys have you're in a unique position that a lot of creatives are not in. However, that doesn't mean that you were born with the skills to be able to be in front of a camera, the skills to be able to edit, the skills to be able to figure out how to do this. And there's been a lot of you've had to learn. You learn by doing, right? The first few videos you put up, the first 50 videos you put up were scrappy AF. They're super scrappy.
Right.
Just get it done.
Audio.
Yeah, just get it done. There was bad audio. They're choppy. But you know what? It didn't matter, Mark, because a lot of times
the people who watch me are wanting to learn. They don't care about the quality of the video. I mean, if you go to my oldest and watch we're in the studio now we moved last year, and it's changed. We watch week after week. You see the different statue, everything. It's all changed every time. And of course, I got better lighting and I got better audio and all that. That's all improved.
But you didn't start out with that. That's not what you started with. Y'all, listen, he was literally an iPhone standing in front of a TV. And eventually I just said, that's it. And literally I said, Mark, maybe we should try StreamYard, because he was literally standing in front of a TV, this iPhone, and it was fine. And you're getting it done. And I didn't, but I was like, maybe we should try StreamYard. We could do a few more things with it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't at the beginning. That was once I could
that was
get
well
you,
into it. Yeah.
No, that was definitely into it. So you have to start scrapping.
You do. And like I said, if you got the content, and what it illustrates, what I've done for so long is, we build our business on education. We said when we've opened this store, brick and mortar, we have a Walmart at our back door and a Lowe's at our back door, both who sell birdseed a lot cheaper than I do. But our business model was, if we teach people and we give them good scientific information, correct information, so they can make informed decisions, they'll support us. and it has worked. And I'm lucky that I've got the brains over here, the financial part of it handled. All I have to do is be the teacher and order and that kind of stuff. And so it's been a very successful partnership on that.
It has been. I mean, and I look at it from 5 years, it'll be 6 years this October. You and I sat down in that dark, quaint little Italian restaurant in Kansas City, and before COVID and all of that, and we sat down, and I literally, you guys, I'm on a plane going, okay, I have this client who has a bird store, and how can I help them? I don't know anything about birds. I mean, I know about the brick and mortar business.
You first said, I don't know anything about birds.
I don't know. I still don't know. I don't. We went on a little nature walk. I'll get to that in a minute. Our little nature walk in a few weeks. Mark and I need our own little TV series, the birder and the non-birder, because I'm probably gonna get myself in trouble with some of the stuff I'm gonna say. But anyway, so we sat in this little Italian restaurant, and I'm just knowing my paint company, the brick and mortar that I have, trying to apply my education and my experiences to his business, and going, this guy needs to be on YouTube. Because then, if people want to know about birds, they're going to go to Google. Google owns YouTube. Google's the #1 search engine in the entire world. And YouTube is, guess what? Is owned by YouTube or owned by Google, and it's #2. The #2 search engine in the entire world is YouTube. And so when you take Google and YouTube and you put them together, people are going to go and ask questions. It didn't matter if I'm coming from the folk finishing world and you're coming from the birding world. Yeah. Our audiences have the same questions and they need the same thing. Right. And they're relying upon people like you and I. And I read a study recently by Hootsuite that 98% of consumers, watchers of YouTube videos, trust the person that they're getting content from. 98%. That's insane to me.
What is the 3-step know, like, trust or something?
Know, like, trust. Absolutely. Yeah. But 98%, if you have a YouTube channel, 98% of people are that going to automatically, you don't even have to work for them to trust you, because the fact that you've been able to make that content, right, and that content is there and it's searchable and it's present, gives them that's all they need, right, to know that this is these are the answers that I'm looking for. And for some reason, I mean, you started off doing long form content, right? Taking your long, but then you kind of discovered that hey, I can just do a 20-minute video and answer 3 questions and nail it. Nail the wash hours.
Yeah, my whole career running nature centers and everything. And I had developed several classes. I know that's somewhere we've got to go, as you tell us, do you get your classes? Mm-hmm. Well, I've been doing those for years, and I've got hour-long slideshow presentation, all that. But what I found, and doing some longer ones and then doing, the short ones and everything else, it was an education process. I found we fell into that 8-minute. So I'm that is really the sweet spot for me. Now,
I just taught that to the YouTube Growth Lab, and I think they all thought that I was crazy. I don't think that they really it hasn't clicked because they haven't done it.
Right.
But that 8 to 12 minutes is kind of the sweet spot. Yep. But there's a sweet spot in the YouTube people 8 to 12 minutes.
Yeah. And people come back. If they want to watch an hour-long program, that's one thing. And we do, our lives are an hour, twice a month. Mm-hmm. And, we have all the feedback, people question and answer and all that. Those are popular. People love them. But when it comes to those videos, like I said, for me, and now some of them go 20 minutes. It just depends on the topic. Yeah. But I have found that 8 to 12 minutes is really the sweet spot for them. And
yeah.
Yep.
If you need to fix your garbage disposal, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to watch an 8-minute video or are you going to watch a 60-minute? You're no, I need to get this garbage disposal fixed right now.
Yeah.
And I want to do this right now. And I also think that a lot of creatives, and I do put you in the creative category, Mark, but I do think that a lot of creatives, they want to give away the pot of gold, right? They want to give it all away. They want to do the whole thing start to finish. But really the consumer, is looking for a coin.
That's
in
right.
this thing. That's it. They just want the coin. They don't want the pot of gold. Eventually, they like the pot of gold, like to make that connection that the community that's been big for you, like they do like to be able to have that community, but that comes later.
Right.
Like first, we just need to make coins, and then we can like build the pot of gold. Like, and so it's hard for content creators to get that. They think that they need to make these like Mr. Beast, like 50-minute long productions with all this production crew and all this lighting and the fancy equipment. Who's got time for that?
No. Yeah. And people, in some of the criticisms, from one of the earlier ones that I did get was talking too much, because I'm guilty of that. I mean, and that is, and one of the things I do that people love is I share stories from my past and, in the field and all those things. And by far, most people like that. But there's always going to be that one person or two.
But you know what? Those negative comments, bring it on. I went back in my photo finishing days, not so much on the coaching side, but my photo finishing days, my accent, the way I pronounce certain words, I've got an education behind me, but it doesn't mean I know how to speak properly. I come from my own world, like I'm in my own like little bubble over here. But I would get these negative comments, and I'm like, thank you so much for your comment. It drives engagement on my channel. I appreciate your words. Thank you so much. But I know that I'm not all things for all people. Flat out, not going to be. And you know what? You have to embrace that. And you have to go, you have to, And I get also too, Mark, I get a lot of, you repeat yourself a lot. I'm like, I don't think you really understand that my education is education. Like that is my degree. I have a degree in education. And we're taught as teachers that you have to repeat yourself multiple times in order for the content to stick. It's just a natural, I can't change the fact that I repeat myself. I'm not going to. If you don't like it, I'm sure there's somebody else that can answer your questions for you. I'm not your person. Like,
I don't know about you. I wasn't an education major. I was a wildlife major. But when I first got into teaching, and I was the one that they in the wildlife office, they say, oh, so and so, Mrs. So and so wants to, Mark, send him because he'll talk in front of people. And so, I got to be that person, the biologist that went out and talked. And I was taught, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. That's just
pretty much. Pretty much. That's pretty much that's the art of teaching, y'all. You can go get a 4 to 6 year degree, and that's all you need to know. You need to know nothing else other than that. Nothing else.
And do it with a good attitude and a smile on your face, and don't be afraid to poke fun at yourself and all those different things that come over time. But for me, it's all about talking about what I know, and that's why I'm comfortable in front of the camera. Tell me to talk to you about changing the oil in a car, and I'd be stumbling all over the place, and well, I guess you do this thing and that thing. No, I know birds, so
right. So I just want to say hi to our live friend too that chimed in, Karen from Australia. She's here in the house with us. I know it's in the morning there too. It's like 9 a.m. in the morning there. Ginger Lee is here. Deb D is here. Sylvia Davis, I see. Peggy is here. So those are our Facebook friends, our YouTube friends. I can't see their names when they when they're live. I can only see you. So if you're on YouTube with us, because we're live on Facebook and YouTube right now. If you're live on YouTube, make sure you chime in so I can see you and acknowledge you. Mark, so your YouTube journey, scrappy as a scrappy does, right? Like just get it done, answer those questions. You don't need the fancy equipment or all the things, or you don't even need to brush your hair half the time. You just gotta push the damn freaking button and just hit record. Like it's not that difficult. Like I don't know, it's interesting because I've been asking inside. I know you're not in the launch group, but I asked them, what are what's holding you back? What are your fears? Because really my 5-day course is about the confidence, right? It's not really, you already know your stuff. You already know your passion. You already know your stuff. It's just giving you the confidence to go. And it's amazing to me how many people said video editing. I don't edit any of my videos. If I can't do it in a one-take shot, I don't need to be doing it. Right?
My worst problem with editing, my worst problem with videos is that getting to the end of the video and going, oh, crap, I forgot to did you mention this or whatever. Because I take notes very little. I just speak off the cuff all the time. And then I'll think, dang it, I need it. And so I'll have to, and I'll turn it off, then I'll record a little snippet, then I have to go back in editing and cut where I want it to go and slide it over and put it in there. And
I wouldn't even do that. I would put in the description in bold letters, shit, I forgot this section. Here's what you need to know. So sorry about that. Maybe I'll remember next time because I ain't got time for editing. But editing is the number one thing that are holding people back from filming on YouTube. And then the other people think that you need to have, like, I don't have the equipment. And I'm thinking, I don't know. We have $1,500 cameras in our pockets all day long. I don't know. What do you mean we don't have the equipment? And then some of it is just like, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, ChatGPT, I'll tell you everything to say. Like, you don't need to, like.
What do people ask you in person? I mean, those are the questions that people won't answer. They may, if people are asking you, how do you choose, what paint do you use? That's a video.
Yeah, my mic drop tip, and I'll give this away, like, even though we're like in a public thing, here's my mic drop tip, is that whatever your audience is, like your genre, your niche, your whatever it is, or niche, however, I like niche because it rhymes with riches. Riches are in the niches. So I go with niche, not niche. But whatever your category is, go and watch another YouTuber on that. Like, collaborate with them. Go watch them. But you know what? Watch their comment section. Because a lot of times the big YouTubers, they get a lot of views. They can't keep up with the comments, right? Even you guys have it becomes a lot. And I mean, I only get like 20 comments a week, and sometimes I try to answer them right away so they don't get like behind. But if you go through
20 an hour.
No, I know it. Yeah. And it could be, but they're so important, right? It's so important to answer those comments. But you'll go in those larger YouTube channels, and you can see all the questions people are asking that never get answered.
No, people compliment me all the time.
Yeah.
And you're the only person who's ever gotten back to me and answered one of my questions. You're the only one.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I tell, but Melanie, tell you, I wake up in the morning, I grab the phone, and I usually answer 2 or 3 YouTube questions before I get out of bed. Last thing I do, I kind of scroll through and answer 2 or 3 questions, and then all the time during the day, I'm constantly answering questions. But they're simple. They're not. It's not. I don't have to write a chapter. It's usually 2 sentences.
But you also have to look at it that those questions, that's money in the bank.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's money in the bank. You guys, every single time somebody asks a question, you have a chance to make that sale. And for you, Mark, your streams of revenue, and I prefaced it up in the top here. Your streams of revenue, obviously ad revenue from YouTube. I mean, it's not like it's a nice bonus. It's a nice bonus. Yeah. And then you have some affiliate revenue or sponsored revenue, but for you guys, it's your product sales.
Yeah. Yes, it's linking people to the brick and mortar. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so you're using Shopify on the back end, which is also your point of sale system in your brick and mortar.
Right.
And because you're monetized on YouTube, you have the full Shopify. Basically, Shopify is integrated with your YouTube. So when you are live or you have a video, your products that you load up are there to make it like a super easy shopping experience.
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay.
And we have all the links in the description below the video, so if people missed it, they can go. That's the other thing. Getting people to look at the description. People don't know that.
Let me tell you why, Mark. Actually, I have the answer for that. I know why. The reason for the description thing is because a lot of them are viewing it on TV. And it's very difficult to open up descriptions on the television. 52% of people watch YouTube on their television.
Right.
And so they're a lot of times just, YouTube is very good about knowing what you want to see. And so when they get into your video, they're going on to another video. Hopefully you're keeping them in a playlist so they keep in your content. But it's very difficult on a television to open up that content.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And so
And
it's
I think
really
it's because I don't mention it enough. I don't plug it in.
no, not at all. Not at all. So mobile users are a little bit better with it. Computer users are really good about reading descriptions and all of that. But really, it's our TV viewers. And like I said, 52% of YouTube viewers are coming from television.
Yeah.
They just like the big screen. They like seeing their content. My dogs are watching, like you're on my playlist. My dogs say you're watching you on the playlist. They got all kinds of videos they're watching on their playlist. So, but no, that's why. So it's not you.
Well,
It's
for
just,
me, like you said, the early years of the Facebook Live, me standing in front of the TV screen, that was the most common complaint was the pictures aren't big enough. I can't see the picture well behind you, and they weren't. They were not great quality pictures.
I was like, StreamYard at Mark. StreamYard, please.
StreamYard. Now we get full screen pictures for you to look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, StreamYard's amazing. I've been a StreamYard user for about 7 years now, and people that again they see like your tech stack of using like StreamYard, Adobe Premiere. I use Adobe Premiere Elements because I don't really need a whole lot. It was like $80 for 3 years, so it's like that'll work in case I need for longer form content if I need to like put a couple of things together. I don't do any editing, y'all. Like literally 95% of my content is scrappy. Like I don't do, we record, we're good. I ain't got time for that. So I don't have time for that. But so you're using StreamYard, Adobe, TubeBuddy, vidIQ.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And those 4 programs together, monthly cost wise is between 100 and 125. I would assume with the
she's the one who has to answer.
Yeah, I think about like knowing what they cost. I think we're probably about there. But that's okay. Yeah. That's a huge that's an investment. That's not an expense, you guys. That is an investment. You can't have you can make content on your phone and just upload it straight to YouTube, and that will 1000% get you exactly where you need to go in monetization. Yep. But when you're pulling in and you're closing in on 6 figures on YouTube between like product sales, affiliates, and ad revenue, it's time to step up your game.
Yeah.
You can afford $125 a month. It's time to step the game up. Do you have any regrets with YouTube? Not starting. My big thing is not going all in with YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wish I'd have started earlier. Yeah, with the like I said, the guy who taught me out of it at first, he was a great computer guy, but he knew nothing really about the social media part of it and how the whole thing worked. And
what did he say to you to talk you out of it?
Well, he said, I said, I wonder if I should put these on YouTube, videos on YouTube. And he said, no, don't do YouTube. And why? And he said, because you can have Wildbird Unlimited, one of the big major chains of Wildbird stores, could put their ads on your videos. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want my videos driving business to those stores.
I'm so glad you mentioned this. Yeah. So, and then you meet me.
And I meet you, and you go.
Yeah, because what did I say? I'm like, let them put your ads on your video because they're going to pay you for it. You're going to get a cut of that.
And of course, my response is, really?
Yeah, I'm like, you're going to get paid for that. I don't drop whatever video you drop it like a tot. I don't really care what you put on my thing as long as you're paying me for it.
Yeah.
Pay me for it. I just want to, just give me a check. Give me a check for it. So I'm cool. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, pay me for it. It's good. You guys hit monetization in YouTube. You were not consistent the first 2 3 years. Okay. And then so you guys did hit monetization fairly quickly.
We did. Once we got rolling, those first few were, it was just testing the waters and trying to get things up and figure things out and how to do it versus and then again, COVID knocked us off the rails, and then the broken
Mhm.
leg. I sure wish I hadn't broke the leg, but that really set me back. But once we got going, it didn't take long to get those 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. No, it's incredible, like how fast it goes. I mean, I've been noticing that on my creative channel that I just started. Like,
yeah,
literally, I just got consistent with it 8 weeks ago, and I think I'm getting about 4 to 5 subscribers a day. And we're only talking about like it. We're gonna hit 300 this. 300. You know, it's not exactly my several thousands that I have, but 300 on the. But you know what though? This is so weird. Like if you add up all my platforms, and I mean, I have an email list of like 12,000. You know,
right,
I'm not big on social media. I mean, I know I'm on Facebook Live right now or YouTube Live, but I'm not really big on social media. I'm putting all my junk out there. I'd rather do it in email.
right.
But those 300 in that, on that channel, to me is like so exciting, because that's like, I don't know anything about that world. Like
Right.
that is like brand new to me. And that the fact that people are watching my content and 300 people subscribe, and I think I just hit like 100 comments on, like, literally it's screaming. It's going so good. And I'm just like, to me, that means so much more to me than the other thousands that I have over on my other channel on
Sure.
YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
it just means so much, because it's like, wow, this is like in such a short time, like the power of this in such a short time. I know for me, Mark, and I don't know if you feel the same way, and it's just a different time, that I wish that during COVID, you know, I grew my paint company and my faux finishing business on Facebook Live, basically, like everybody else did.
Right.
I also grew it on YouTube. You know, Pinterest was a huge platform for me. Shopify was a huge platform for me. Etsy was a huge platform for me. They were all. And then, you know, moving into the coaching world, I didn't know how to do coaching. Like, I didn't know how to do it. And
Sure.
all I knew was how to do it like in a private group. People are going to pay for it. But going back, I wish that I just would have went all in and just went on YouTube every week and went live. I mean, can you imagine? Like, it's just painful when I think about it. It makes me want to throw up, actually.
Yeah.
But it does. It makes me want to throw up, because
It was the unknown. Like you said, it's the unknown back then, you know, and you just like, are people really going to watch me? Are people really going to?
When you have several hundred people willing to pay you $37 a month, or you go on YouTube where you're just waiting for ad revenue to drop and some affiliates to drop, yeah, it's really hard to like make that decision, because you can't see like the future. You can't see where it's going. Well, I'll tell you guys, for those of you who are in this boat, like, who are thinking about going into like that type of, and I do get a lot of people who are like, I'm thinking about coaching and making that transition. Y'all take it to YouTube. I'm telling you right now, if I could do it all over again, I would. Take it to YouTube, because the thing is that you are going to actually end up making way more in the end and having a business with stability, versus always having to constantly do a launch and pivot and come up with something new. Like you, Mark, like birds, I'm going to say this because I'm not a birder. Birds don't change. They fly around in the sky. They got some wings. The species are like, you know, kind of there. Maybe there's a new species every like couple days or something. I'm not sure. But like a bird lays an egg, it hatches, and it becomes a bird. And like
my major professor in college, and in our one of our final classes that we had in wildlife school, I never forget. I don't know what got the line of questions going, but he said, listen, folks, I'm gonna tell you right now, birds and wild animals are easy. It's people that are hard, and you're gonna figure that out the day you get out of college.
Well, that's what I was saying, is that it's really like birding is like, you still have to deal with people though. And but I will say, being a coach, like if you were teaching people how to run bird brick and mortars, that's a whole nother give me a headache kind of thing. And I would encourage you guys, if you have a knowledge base, that just start dropping it on, just make those like 10-minute, 20-minute videos, like make it. So I do though, Mark, I am going to pitch to you someday when I have time. Isn't that funny? I do think that we need like an entertainment segment on your thing, the birder versus the non-birder.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
do think that we could get, they're going to be like, who is this dumb blonde girl? Like, so y'all, they were in Florida a few weeks. It's okay. That's all right. I can take it. They were in Florida a few weeks ago. They're getting ready to leave for a cruise. And, we met up for dinner, and I was like, it was kind of hard because there was just a lot of time to like, so we went into like a part of Tampa Bay that is a little bit more primitive,
Wow.
I think is
Yeah.
the word.
Yeah.
Primitive, because there's not like, it used to be, it was an old landfill like 50 years ago that they like filled in. And so we're like driving around trying to find like a spot at this park thing. And all I see are cats. Right. And I'm like, okay, in my mind, like just logic. I'm like, I'm sure this is a good spot because cats and birds don't really
Don't
mix.
get along.
Like,
Yes. Public enemy number one. Yeah.
we finally parked and get out, and we're like just looking for birds. I have terrible hearing. I have like the worst sense. I have good eye. Well, good eyes far away.
You
Just
have
don't
good
put
eyes.
anything in front of me.
You
Good
can
eyes
spot
far
movement.
away.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like good spotter.
Mhm.
But don't. I'm like, there's like a common white person bird over there.
That
And
was
he
your,
like,
your catchphrase.
he was like,
I'm a
oh
white
my
person
God.
bird.
I'm like, that's like the Caucasian bird over there. I can say that because I'm like pasty white. But anyways, I was like, that's like the common black bird over there. And he's like, oh my God, you're so He's like,
It's actually called a hotel crackle, but okay.
I was like, that one has a unique peach belly. I don't know what kind of bird that one is, but that one's a little different than the other ones. I think that is for like the more cultural bird over there.
Yeah.
But it was funny. But I was like,
And
I'm a jokester.
every bird hike I do is people are just getting started. People have been doing it for a little while, just learning. The people
They don't say things like I do, I'm pretty sure, though.
Well, there are. I don't know.
Oh,
You would be
okay.
surprised.
Look at those people. Okay, I
But
need to
I've
hang
never
out
heard
with
the
those people.
Caucasian bird remark before. That was unique. I can.
Oh, I just meant that it was like a common bird. Like, it was just like there's nothing like. Well, we're all different and unique. We're all special and unique, but it was just like a common like blackbird. And maybe it wasn't a common blackbird, but it just looked like a common bird to me. It was like a pigeon or something. I don't know. I'm going to get myself in so much trouble tonight. My inclusive community. I'm going to get myself in so much trouble tonight.
Not with me. You're perfectly okay with me, believe me. I get it all. I mean, from the comment sections and the bird hikes I do and the classes I do for garden clubs and on and on and on, I've done for 40 years now. I am rarely surprised by a question that get asked, just because I have truly been asked.
You should do a whole series of dumb birding questions. Yeah. Like dumb questions I've been, and maybe rephrase dumb, go to your chat GPT bot and like come up with something a little softer than dumb questions. Funny birding moments, maybe.
Yeah. We got lots of stories. That could be
add a little entertainment into your education. And
He's been wanting me to, because I've led birding tours all over the country over the years, and on those trips we had such good times, and we had one guy in the trip on every trip, and went on everyone ever went on, and he kept notes in the back of the van. He and his wife called themselves the Head, Hat, and Hair Club. They always took the back seat in the van. So all we could see were head, and he kept notes for these trips, funny things that people said on the, and we would get back and have them, we'd all get together for dinner after the trip, and he would break out those pages and say, and he'd have to guess who said the line. He would say,
that's what she said. Yeah.
And we had to guess which one of the people in the van said what he had.
I need to hang out with him and his wife. Those sound like my kind of people.
Yeah. I mean, we
totally
had
my kind of people. That's great. So what is your big like YouTube goal, Mark? What's your big like? I'm asking this because when we do these follow-ups, every year we say, you remember when? I mean, we can already say remember when, but what's your big YouTube goal?
That's a good question. We had one video that really hit last
There's
September.
Always one.
And it and I thought, my gosh, if we could get this, and nothing's come that close since. There have been some that have been good.
There's always one. Always one.
I can make lists and I can and try to prepare and do batch recording if you try to do that. But I'm so much, like I said, off the cuff. Well, that one that went viral by my standards was a complete turn the camera on, start talking, no plan. and
they always are.
Yeah, and so obviously I'd love to educate as many people as I possibly can about birds and the need to protect them and the significance of them. And so that's always been my goal, and I love working with kids, but I've worked with adults so much longer now because of the brick and mortar. But just to grow that knowledge and grow the channel. I have no idea what a number is that's even feasible for a bird guy.
So I'm going to throw this out. Like, my big dream for Mark and Melanie, because I know that this is a team. You guys have an incredible partnership and a marriage that I look up to, by the way. I know it's not always been perfect, and none of them are, but I do know that, like, I very much admire your guys' partnership. And so my thing is when you hit 100,000, I'm flying to Kansas City and I'm throwing you a party, because as soon as YouTube sends you your 100,000, you get a little
plaque thing.
You get a plaque when you hit 100,000, and so we're gonna have the 100K party, and it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. So I'll be on a plane to Kansas City, and we're gonna. Well, maybe we should go back to the Italian restaurant. Maybe we can get the restaurant. Ooh, I wonder if do you guys know the name of it? I'm sure you guys know the name of it.
We do.
Tresemare.
Okay, no, maybe we can get them to sponsor a little thing. Like, I'm a pretty good talker, so I'm thinking that we go back there and have your 100K party.
And the other part of that too, is how do you start soliciting for sponsorships? I mean, there's several companies, bird feeder companies, binocular companies, tilly hats, and those are things. How do you go about getting?
Yeah, Mark, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Actually, my suggestion would be, it's not what you think, is actually to get on LinkedIn and get. So
I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm not very active.
Okay. No. What I want you to do on LinkedIn is I want you to research the companies that make them, and you're going to find the sales manager, the CEO, and you're going to reach out to them and say, I'm interested in working with your company. And that's how you're going to reach them, is on LinkedIn. I have another member. She's really big on YouTube, and she actually wants to get published, like in some art journals per se. Right. And she started reaching out on LinkedIn to editors, and she has six little things in the works.
Good.
On the thing. Yeah. So I would highly recommend LinkedIn. Just research the companies. And because you can just type in LinkedIn, like the company, and then you can see all the people that work there. And you're going to want to find like the regional sales managers, the editors, like bird magazines, the editors. You're going to want to find to reach out to them. You're going to send them, you guys already have your media kit. Yep. You're going to send them the media kit. They're going to check out your channel. You are in a prime time in your channel for sponsorships, because Small and Mighty gets the numbers. The more subscribers you have, it makes us feel good, right? Vanity numbers make us feel good, right, but they don't always bring us watch hours. And so that's why I don't really like viral videos. Like, you have the viral video, but I don't really love viral videos because they don't necessarily bring us subscribers who watch more than just that content. They tend to just watch that content and they never watch anything again. And so we actually should never strive for viral videos. And I don't know why somebody has fed like people the mindset that they need to have viral videos, because that's so not true. And but anyway, so basically on like that content right there is just like taking that content, keeping growing, keeping in front of people, like keeping it like moving it through, because that's what advertisers want. That's what sponsorships want, is they want content that's being watched. They don't want viral content. And so that's pretty much it. Like, they love the Small and Mighty channels, because you get up to like 100,000, 150,000 subscribers. You actually probably had more watch hours when you were at 20,000 subscribers than you were at 100 and
Wow.
150,000. I don't put any validation, you guys, on people who are like, oh, I have like blah, 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 hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I want to see your watch hours. Like, I want to see, like, because honestly, you can have all the, Mark, subscribers don't pay the bills.
No,
Like,
right.
it's the watch hours that pay the bills.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what are your watch hours? The subscribers just make you feel good inside.
Right.
It's the watch hours that pay the bills.
Yeah.
Or buy the products or convert or whatnot. And so I've actually seen, and that I was under Nolan for quite some time. And even he is the big fan of this, that those channels, there's that sweet spot, and it's usually between about 15,000 to 25,000 subscribers. It tends to be your sweet spot, especially for sponsorship. So you're in prime time.
I really liked what, when he talked about the broad appeal videos, but then like 3 of the more concentrated, and that really describes what I do, because I can't talk about how to attract hummingbirds 6 weeks in a row, but that's what people want. They wonder what I have to do. How does the respiratory system in birds work? How do they breathe? How do their feet not freeze to the power lines? And all these different. I do the biology part, and those views are definitely less than how to attract hummingbirds. Because that's much broader.
Yeah, but it's important though too, when we're growing our subscriber base, that we're growing a broad mix of people, because if we're just so hyper focused on one little thing, the respiratory systems of birds, right? Yeah. You're going to tap out. You're not going to be able, you're going to tap out. And that's what you can't have in YouTube, because the minute you tap out, it tanks everything. You have to keep it going. And, but yeah, Mark, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. And now that Melanie has become your full-time producer, she needs to get on LinkedIn and start researching the companies and reaching out. And she's like, what? I'm telling you right now, because you're in an ultimate sweet spot right now for sponsorship. So you really are. Good. And I think that there are companies out there looking for personalities. And Mark, you're in such a niche field. Even my artist client, she is not, there's a million other people doing what she's doing, right? There's a million other people, but they're not willing to put themselves out there like she's willing to put herself out there.
Right.
And that's the difference, is that how I use the word, and I love it because Les Brown is one of my idols. And if you guys don't know Les Brown, he's an amazing motivational speaker. And he always says, are you hungry? How hungry, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? And I know you want it, Mark, because you put I know you want it, but it makes you feel good. You do it because it
absolutely does.
It's your purpose.
Yeah.
It sparks joy.
It's validation. It's validation of what, and just like this morning on the bird hike, one of the young ladies that had her mom and her sister on the hike, and we were back in the woods, and we were getting birds and things like that. And she all of a sudden just launched into, I had the greatest YouTube channel on YouTube, and I've watched every single one of his videos, and I learned so much. And this was to the crowd, and I loved it. It's like, well, thank you. I mean, you love hearing that, and it does. I'm doing something right if that one person thinks that, or who think,
or there's been other stories of that. Mark is walking through the airport. I think I was on Zoom with Melanie with the mastermind at that time. Mark is walking through the airport, and little old ladies are stopping him. Oh, you're Mark with Backyard Birds. He was I can just see your face right now. You're inside. You're just wanting to jump up and down like a little kid. And you're like, oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Well, then you walk out into the store one Saturday a few weeks ago, and I hear, there he is. And I turned to look, and it was this little 5-year-old girl and her mom. And she wanted to come meet you. She was hoping that she could meet you. And she said, her and her dad watch all your videos and she just loves you. And then so I talked to her about birds and things like that. And I mean, come on, that has to tug on the heartstrings. So
yeah. Back in the day, when I say back in the day when I was young and afraid, that's an old hip hop song from the 90s. Don't worry about that, Mark. But anyways, in my faux finishing days, I had it happen twice. Yeah, and I was actually coming out of the Disney's Fort Wilderness Lodge having dinner, and this lady stopped me and it's like, like that, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm processing like, is this a client? Is this like, because this is before my purchase? Is this a financial planning client? Is this
did I run over her dog?
She's like, oh, I just love you and Maria. And because Maria was somebody that I partnered up with to do some video. I just love you guys. And oh my God, I can't believe it. Can I take a picture? I was so mortified because I'm like, I don't have no lipstick on. My hair isn't done. I'm looking like a train wreck. And I wanted to say, no, you can't take a picture. But of course, I'm just like this, I mean, I'm like, no, it doesn't. Nobody wants to take a picture with a coach now. They're like, no, I can't talk to her. She'll make me do work. She makes me do work. I can't talk to her right now. She is like too much for me right now. But you've had a couple of other moments too, where people have come in the stores with like publications that you did.
Yeah.
You just had that happen.
Right there.
I wrote this article several years ago. Okay. Where is it? Over right here. This one.
Yeah, there's that. There we go.
Yeah, this got published in the Missouri Conservationist magazine back in wasn't it 95? Yeah. And it got republished for several years as a an article that people could pull out as a brochure to identify sparrows here in Missouri. And it was in publication for a long, long time. And then they stopped putting it. Of course, when everything went digital and they moved it to digital and then you had to go online. Well, it kind of disappeared for several years. And with the channel, everybody seeing this behind me, and I talked about it. And how can I get copies? How can I get copies? Well, this guy came in the store recently, and he is part of the Missouri Master Naturalist group, who I've spoken to many times over the years and done lessons for him. But he said, I'm going to find one of those articles of yours. And I said, oh, that'd be great. I said, if you do successfully locate them, let me know. Cause I'm down to like my last 5 copies, that I ever had. And he, about a week later, he came walking in the store and he had the copy of the magazine and he had a copy of the article. And he said, I found it. And he told me how he did it. He said, I went into this Missouri archives site and all this. And he said, and sure enough, he said, I talked to a guy there and he said, would you like to have a hard copy of it? Because you can do the digital. And he said, I can go pull you one out of the archives. And he went in and grabbed it and he sent it to the guy. And and he said, would you please autograph this for me? Which of course I'm like, okay. So yeah, it was really cool. That's it,
That's so cool. Yeah, it just makes you feel good. And this is and I do think that this is the power of YouTube versus Facebook, because our content has such a long time span on YouTube because it's searchable. Like Google owns YouTube and it's searchable. Yep. And when you do those Facebook Live videos, they're not searchable. Nobody sees them at past 72 hours. They're dead. This video right here is dead in the water in 72 hours.
Right.
Like 72 hours. Oh, look, we have a St. Louis friend in the house. So
hi,
St. Louis, like 3 hours. I think 3 hours away from Kansas City, somewhere right there. Like, see, I know my geography. I've been over there
good, very good. That's
good, right?
Because everybody says, what part of Kansas is Kansas City in? No.
Missouri.
Missouri.
It's over the bridge. But I will say I got a little confused when I was there for Pinners. I'm like, I don't know if I'm in Kansas right now or Missouri right now. Right. I'm not sure, because I think Pinners was actually in Kansas, even though they called it okay, it was kind of confusing because they said that it was it was in Kansas, but it was the Kansas City, Missouri Pinners, but it was in Kansas, not Missouri. So it was
about
very
75% of Kansas City is in Missouri, and about 25%.
Yeah. Okay.
Whenever when we saw the Rolling Stones a few years ago, Jagger was out, he was talking after the first couple of songs. He said, okay, we got to get this straight. He said, and of course there's 80-some thousand people in the stadium, Arrowhead Stadium. He says, how many people in this stadium are actually from Kansas? and you hear, and he said, okay, how many of you actually from Missouri? And of course, the whole place erupts. And he goes, well, that should clarify things a bit, he said.
Yeah, no, at least I've known that for like, at least like the last 10 years. So there's like, I know a little bit on geography, but anyways, Mark, I'm super proud of your journey. I tell you that all the time. Like, I'm really proud, and I just want you to like keep going and keep doing your thing. But most of all, like, it's your passion, and it just doesn't feel like work when it's something you enjoy. And when it's something you enjoy doing, then it's not work. It's just like you're out there to educate the world and do your thing. But hey, when you can make money on it, like, winning, like, because you're not always going to have the brick and mortar. At some point you want to retire.
Sure.
And, possibly like sell the business or pass it down or pass it on or whatever. But you got to have something.
Yep.
Like, you got to have something. And YouTube in the works right now. Imagine where you're going to be in 5 years from now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate you getting me started on it and making that push that I needed to get me on the right
track.
I
didn't have all the answers back then. I was like, I don't know, just put videos on YouTube, just figure it out. Like, I don't know, that's literally what there was no guidance, y'all, at all. I'm just, why are you on YouTube? Like, or why are you not on YouTube? Because I just thought, like, birds? Like, why would you go for Facebook for birds? You just thought it was weird. Like, why would you go on Facebook for birds?
I don't know if you remember or not, but there, when I was getting into Premiere and learning Premiere, and your significant others was a big time editor, and he would be sitting behind it, and you turn and say, "So how does Mark do this?" in Premiere, and he.
It's so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
But
so embarrassing. But hey, you know what though? I mean,
exactly.
Like, we just got to do it. We have to get past that. It is, for a lot of people, it is fear. And I think that for a lot of people, it's actually judgment. I think that they're afraid to being judged on YouTube. Like, my kids are going to make fun of me, or my grandkids are going to make fun of me, or my whomever. Who cares? They're not paying your bills unless they're paying your bills.
Exactly.
Then that's how I feel about it. Like,
the number one fear in the world is talking in front of a group of people. Widely known that by far that is. But you're talking to a camera. You're just talking to yourself on the screen. You're done.
Literally. Like, literally.
Exactly. You're not. So you can just be yourself, and you can stop it and start it. You can do. I don't like that. You get past it, and you really do, and then you improve the technology, and then the biggest part to me is the preparation, and that is because I use a lot of photographs. Obviously, I'm talking about birds, and people want to see the differences of males and females and all that stuff. For me, gathering the pictures, importing the pictures, getting them placed on the screen so that I can bring them up and talk to them. And to me, that's the weakest link of StreamYard. Is you can only import 10 pictures. That's they.
Yeah. No. So do you? Well, are you using? I'm looking at mine right now because I have more than 10 in there. I have about, I don't know. I must have 50 in there. So maybe it's the version that are you using overlays?
What am I doing? Am I using overlay? I don't know. I just know that in the settings when I want to import the pictures. Now I can, on the right, I can use all the videos and things over there, but for settings and import slides and photographs, it limits you to 10 PDFs. Is what you can bring in.
Oh, you're doing PDF. So if you do them as JPEGs and you bring them over 1920 by 1080. And you bring them over and put them in, because see, like right now, like I can pop up like that. Like I have a bunch of them. Like I have 50 of them at least.
Are those all down the side to the right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, because in the settings, when you do it at the bottom, you import them, and there's 10 of them across the bottom, and I kind of use those as my prompts as to change when I'm talking. And
So for my prompt, I use my banners. I'll use my banners to put all of my notes in. And then under the media stuff is where I will load in all of my overlays in PNG files. or
PNG.
JPEG. Yeah, PNGs are JPEGs, and I'll load those in. Like I have one here, bundles. Like you'll see, like they kind of look like slides, I guess you could say, because I'm formatting them to look like things. But no, I just bring them in as overlays because I don't deal with that.
I'm gonna try to pray that because there's sometimes what I end up doing is going into InDesign and bring the 2 pictures in design and make that into a slide. So I get 2 for one, that kind of thing. So,
okay. Yeah. And then you can even do it like when you pop it up, and you can even set like in StreamYard now, you can make a custom thing. So you're actually still on the screen, because when you put up overlays, it'll go over, like you saw, it goes over my head. You can still hear me though, it goes over my, which isn't a big deal because most people are sick of looking at me anyways. So, no, I mean, by the time we get the slides, like, could you just get on with us? Like, I've got things to do today. But you can put it so like your face is off to the side. You can actually customize your screen now in there. So, but yeah, play around with the overlays. Like that'll like
learning. Always
learning. No, I am too. I mean, but I'm in it. I'm probably in StreamYard 20 hours a week. I mean, I actually just had to download 30 hours worth of content because I'm at 400 storage hours on it, and they won't give me any more storage. So I spent last week downloading 30 hours of content so that I could produce, because I'm in the middle major content creation right now for this YouTube course, and then the Canva course that I just taught. So I needed to free up like 30 hours worth of space. So yeah, it's
so the message to everybody out there is just do it, and just like I said, people are interested in what you're talking about, not what kind of clothes you're wearing in your hairstyle or any of that stuff. Yeah. You're solving problems, answering questions, and that's what they want. And they're gonna watch what and that's why I like the short topics, because I don't want to go on and on. I want people to learn how to do this, or how you separate this bird from that bird, whatever my lesson is, and get done with it. And I think it works.
It does work. It does work. And I've seen it over. We have 20% of my coaching group are monetized on YouTube. 20%. That's good. Insane. It's insane. And we started it years ago. Like, it's not been like, we started it like years ago, but we've had a few that got monetized like just blew like quick. I was like, oh, wow.
Wow.
Wasn't that nice? But I mean, I'm on track. I think my channel's on track to be monetized by the end of the year. My brand new one. Good. So I'm trying to get monetized in the first year with it. But I mean, it's work. I mean, but I'm only doing 25 minutes a week of content.
Wow. Yeah. And that's, it's doable. You're right. And like you said, consistency to me is the name of the game. I hate having to miss a Monday or a half week. And I very rarely had to do that, because I just, I'll recycle content if I have to. Yeah, exactly.
Because they don't know what you posted 3 or 4 years ago.
No.
Because they weren't there. Your subscribers weren't there 3 or 4 years ago. So it's like, they don't know what you posted. And they don't remember anyways. Everyone needs to be reminded. Like, right. I mean, no, they don't. I mean, I joke in my coaching group. I could teach the same thing for 7 weeks in a row. And then the 7th week, somebody will finally say, didn't you just teach that? Every week it'll be, wow. I never thought about, oh, no. Seriously, we can do that. In the 7th week, somebody will say, didn't you just teach that? Yeah, for the last 6 weeks, the same thing, like literally, because we just have to keep, we just gotta keep it.
It's like those people that this background's been the same for whatever, and then they go, so when did you get that statue of the eagle up behind you? It's been there for
It's always about the back. Because I tell everyone, they think they need like this beautiful like production set, and it's like, no, just make a mess in the background. That's all you need for a viral video. You want a viral video? Make a mess in the background, because people are gonna be like, "What's in that basket over there? What are you going to show? Is that for sale over there? What is that?" Like, you're right here, people, right here.
When are you going to talk about all those books? And what are those books all behind you? And
exactly. Right. It's content, is for sure. Mark, I appreciate you so much for being here. Melanie, thank you for being here on a sidekick right there. Happy Mother's Day to you. I love this. And we're going to do this again in a year and see how far we've come. I did that for a couple of years with Erin when she was building her YouTube journey.
Yeah.
And you've just always been so busy. This is a busy time of year too, like for you guys. And so I've always felt like I don't want to bother them, but it'll be fun though next year to do like a follow-up, like what happened in a year,
Absolutely.
kind of thing. And but Mark, hang tight in the background real quick.
Okay.
I'm just gonna close this out. You guys hang tight right there. And you guys listen. So tomorrow, Monday, we're live. We're like live right now. But tomorrow, running all week is my free 5-day YouTube course, and it's called Lights, Camera, Confidence. You guys, the camera's super easy, the lights are super easy, but what's not easy is the confidence side. To just pick up the damn freaking phone and film something and put it on YouTube. It's not difficult. Everybody overthinks that they want perfection, and I'm going to spend a week with you, working you through all of those hurdles of feeling why you just can't do this, why we can't just make that step. The course is 100% free. All the details are in this video, up above, down below. If you're on YouTube, it's down below. If you're on Facebook, it's up above. And I want to see you guys in class. There is no upsell. There's no downsell. There's no something. Every single year, I dedicate an entire week of teaching something for like literally, I give you my stuff for an entire week. And so this year is YouTube, and we're going all in. And really, it's about confidence this year, because you just cannot grow a successful your content, or whether you're a business or just a content creator, will never be successful if you don't have the mindset and you're not able to dedicate yourself to it. And if you can't dedicate yourself to it, it means you're not passionate about it. Anyways, I hope to see you guys in my course this week. I can't wait to love on you. I've got some really cool surprises in the works for you guys as well. And I'm going to be by your side all week, and we are going to get some content made this week. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing, awesome, fabulous day and week ahead of you. And happy Mother's Day to all those incredible moms that we have, and those of our women who are major influential figures in so many lives. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.